What is up, Chicago Cubbies baseball fans? And what is up, Chicago Cubs Nation? How is everybody's weekend going? How is everybody's Sunday going? How is everybody's daylight savings time day going? And how is everybody's first day of a new week going? Because technically Sunday is the first day of a new week. Anyway, guys, that does not matter. Hope all you guys are having a phenomenal weekend, a great Sunday. By the way, happy daylight savings time. We get more sunlight, more daytime, I hope, but that's got to feel good, guys. But let's not waste time, guys. Welcome back to the channel of Cubs Baseball with Rye Knight. And guys, it was a beautiful day at Sloan Park in Mesa, Arizona for Chicago Cubs baseball. The Cubs playing host to the San Francisco Giants. But before we can get into the game, we have some very exciting Cubs news. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, the iconic, the legendary Pat Hughes will be inducted into this year's Cactus League Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Pat Hughes. Woo woo! Go Pat Hughes. Congratulations, Cubs Nation and Cubbies baseball fans. Love you. We are so happy for you, Mr. Pat Hughes. Definitely 1,000 billion trillion % deserved. We love you, Pat, and congratulations from Chicago Cubbies Nation. All right, guys, now we get into the good stuff. It is a beautiful day to talk some Chicago Cubs spring training baseball. They played host to the San Francisco Giants. It was a split squad day, 2-day for the Giants. So how would they fare off against the Chicago Cubs? Well, we didn't have to wait long for the Cubs to get on the board. It would be the bottom of the very first inning. The one and only, the dangerous Michael Busch gets a single. He actually would score a run, but that would not be credited an RBI. The Cubs take an early 1-0 lead. Like I said, we didn't have to wait long for the Chicago Cubs to get on the board. The bottom of the second. What about John Brandy? Don't count that guy out. A 2 RBI double. That gave the Cubs a lead again. And it was 3-1 in favor of the Chicago Cubs. You know what? I keep on saying, in 2 days game, we didn't have to wait long for the Chicago Cubs or the Chicago Cubbies to score. What about the bottom of the third? Hello, Mr. Kyle Tucker, the newest Cub. First Cactus League hit. First home run of spring training as a Chicago Cub. And that was a solo bomb. It gave the Cubs a 4-1 lead. And everybody is excited for Mr. Kyle Tucker, just like everybody is excited for Pat Hughes. But the scoring did not stop there for the Cubs. Right in the very next inning, bottom of the fourth, Seiya Suzuki. An RBI single gave the Cubs a 5-2 lead. And ladies and gentlemen, now we have all these big league names for the Chicago Cubs that stepped up and did their job today. But what about the bottom of the fifth? What about the Rule 5 guy, Gage Workman, RBI single? That gave the Cubs a 6-3 lead. Now, here's the bad news about the game. Unfortunately, after the 5th inning, the Cubs were kept off the scoreboard for the remaining of the game. They were going into the top of the 9th with the lead. It was a 6-4 game going to the top of the 9th in favor of none other than the Chicago Cubs. And actually, guys, the Cubs were one strike away, not once, but twice in the top of the 9th inning. And it blew apart. Guys, the San Francisco Giants scored 5 runs in the top of the 9th inning, and they scored those 5 runs when they were all down to their final out. That is actually what happened. Everybody is like, OMG, what happened? Guys, I mean, the Cubs heading into 2 days game, they only had 3 losses against the San Francisco Giants. And I got to be very honest with you, the Cubs had the Giants right where they wanted. But you guys all know the quote from the late, great Yogi Berra. Yogi Berra once said the quote, "It ain't over till it's over." And that must have been the mindset for the San Francisco Giants. Because you know what? When they were down to the final out and 1 out away from losing to the Chicago Cubs, they scored 5 runs to make it an 8-6 game. Now we have to do something that Cubs Nation was not preparing to do today, and that is come to the bottom of the 9th and try to at least tie it. Now, coming in the bottom of the 9th, the Cubs were down 8-6. But the good news is they were only down by 2. And the only question is, would they be able to come back and at least end it in a tie or get a walk-off? Well, no. And I actually want to calm down, Ryan, for a minute. I want to tip my hat to the San Francisco Giants, guys. They were down to their final out and their final strike 2 different times going to the top of the 9th. And they could have easily lost this game, all right? And they came in the top of the 9th and boom! Scored 5 runs to make it 8-6 in favor of them. You know, I gotta be honest with you guys. There was a lot of positives out of 2 days game. I mean, how do we kick things off with Pat Hughes going to be inducted into the Cactus League Baseball Hall of Fame for 2025? How cool is that? What about Kyle Tucker, first hit as a Cub in spring training? That was a no doubt home run. Jameson Taillon looked great on the mound. Pat Hughes sang the 7th inning stretch at Sloan Park today. I mean, look at all these positives, guys. And you know what the Giants did? They turned all that great stuff in front of the Cub faithful, and they came back and won it. Ladies and gentlemen, the San Francisco Giants down 8-4 going to the 9th. Not 8-4. They were down 6-4 going to the 9th, and after the top of the 9th was all done, the Giants went from down 6-4 to being up 8-6. And ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe it. The most roughest game probably of spring training, and probably the biggest heartbreak for the Cubs in spring training. The San Francisco Giants score 5 runs in the top of the 9th inning, and they defeat the Cubs on a Sunday, 8-6 your final score. A really tough loss for the Cubs today. Unfortunately, I don't know what to say. But I do want to say this. Congratulations to Pat Hughes. Yes, one and only great Chicago Cub guy, Pat Hughes, woo woo, going to be inducted into the class of the 2025 Cactus League Baseball Hall of Fame. There is absolutely zero disagreement on my part. I'm happy. I am really happy for Pat Hughes. Congratulations to Pat Hughes. He did a phenomenal job singing the 7th inning stretch in front of the Cub faithful at Sloan Park. Unfortunately, the Giants make a big upset comeback and beat the Cubs 8-6. So, you know what, guys? It wasn't an easy day at the office for the Giants, but they came back, they got the job done, and they walked out with a W. It is a heartbreak loss for the Cubs. Again, I don't want to go to the top of the ninth, but the top of the ninth, the Cubs had the Giants literally right where they wanted them, and the Giants score 5 and make a heartbreak over the Cubs. That's all I have to say. But you know what? The positive out of today as a Cub fan is that Pat Hughes, our only lovely great Pat Hughes, is going to be inducted into the 2025 Cactus League Baseball Hall of Fame. And all we got to say is, woo woo! Congratulations to Pat Hughes. I am very, very happy for him and very excited for him as well. Well, guys, the Cubs tomorrow will be on the road. They will be in Goodyear, Arizona at Goodyear Ballpark, and they will take on the Cleveland Guardians. It will be the final time that the Cubs are the away team in Cactus League play tomorrow. Because, guys, remember, after tomorrow, then we got Tuesday. Tuesday will be the final game at Sloan before the Cubs head off to Japan. We will talk more about that as the week comes on. The Cubs will play on Friday night against the Hanshin Tigers in the Tokyo Dome, and then they will play early Sunday morning against the Yomiuri Giants. So those are the 2 exhibition games. We'll talk a whole lot more about that as time goes on. But a really tough heartbreak loss for the Cubs today at home. And I just want to say, Kyle Tucker, first home run, first hit. Woo woo! And Pat Hughes going to be inducted into the 2025 Cactus League Hall of Fame. We have got to be happy for our guy, Pat Hughes. But it is a really tough heartbreak loss for the Cubs today. One more time, your final. Giants score 5 on the top of the 9th, and they beat the Cubs at Sloan Park 8-6. All right, Cub Nation. Well, I hope you are all having a great weekend. Hope you are all having a great Sunday, and happy Daylight Savings Time Day as well. I don't really know what else to say other than that. So have a great rest of your weekend and enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Thank you so much for watching. One more time, Pat Hughes going to be inducted into the Cactus League 2025 Hall of Fame. And unfortunately, on the exact same day of that announcement, a heartbreak loss at home for the Chicago Cubbies. All right, guys, I will see all of you diehard Cub fans right back here in the next episode. Have an awesome rest of your weekend, and we might as well say it even on a heartbreak loss. As always, go Cubs go.